Hello, everyone. So here we are again, me and the beautiful Sandra. And we are here for a very short Q&A session. And I'm going to address a few questions to Sandra, and she will tell us a little bit more about the vision behind the Women's Retreat. And we will take it from there. Uh, so, my dear, I know that this work is so close to you, and I know that you've been doing this work for a number of years. And now we are here in the era whenever we are also hosting retreats for women, not only the mixed one, but also like this unique space that has been designed for the healing of women. And I would like to ask you, and maybe you want to say a few words, why women retreats in the Freedom Tribe?
Thank you so much, and hello everyone. Welcome to the Freedom Tribe channel. What a beautiful question, my dear sister. So the women's retreat started actually with our wonderful sister Hannah. Back when we started the Freedom Tribe, because I could feel together with Hannah, who held the first retreat with me, that women need spaces where the nervous system can calm down. And why can we feel that the nervous system can calm down more when we are between each other? Because many of us had experiences with an unhealed masculine from the outside that was threatening, either on a physical level or emotional level or spiritual level. So to come back into a sisterhood, and I like to call it sacred sisterhood, where we can sit with our own rhythm as women and reconnect to the sacred earth and all the medicines that the earth gives us, calms down, first of all, our nervous system. And we can let our guard down, and we can let the armor down and sit together as we are in all our immense beauty that every woman holds. And that is just sitting together in a circle, seeing each other is extremely healing. That's how it started.
Yeah, so beautiful. And I can just say that, like you said, it's so also rare to have those spaces in our life, right? So just holding the container and creating the space where you can unmask yourself and you can just really relax and relax your nervous system, like you said. It can be very healing and very unique. But whenever you're saying regulate the nervous system and really relax into it, what's on your mind?
Mm. I just realized yesterday by walking in the park with my dog, no, actually, it was today, that for the first time in the last years, I could feel the slowness of my nervous system and the rhythm and the whole orchestra of
Mm,
so many instruments, that I could feel my nervous system is much slower than I thought it was, because I like to create, as many of you know, and as you know, my beautiful sister. I love to create, and I love to organize and to hold space for other wonderful humans. And I also went through a really hard year. The last year was so hard for me. I ended a relationship that lasted for the last 10 years. And that was really hard because it involved seeing my own patterns that were unhealed and letting go of so many things that I thought were mine, but actually they were not, they were conditioned. And realizing these whole things made me continuously go into a higher vibe. How can I say that? In a more active state. And I completely forgot how my nervous system sounds like. It has a beautiful sound and it's slower. And also now listening to myself while I'm talking, I can feel that I'm slower now than I was the last conversations, for example, that we had together. And it just feels so good to take my time and to reconnect with my own rhythm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Oh, thank you for sharing. Yes. And you know, what the question and thank you for sharing your personal story with us as well. And I know that it was not an easy year for you, and it's so wonderful to hear that there is more peace within you today, and the nervous system is like slowing down, as you said. And you know what comes to me also? The question, like, why bother? Why bother with doing all those things to regulate the nervous system, right? Because like in this like society that we are living in, there is a lot of like yoga and you know some other activities whenever you go and to relax and regulate. And I feel like like the conversation that we had before, and we named how like we don't even realize how unregulated we are, right? That we are living in this very fast pace. Whenever, yes, you can like implement some yoga sessions or some like, you know, other activities to have a walk in the nature. But at the same time, I feel like we've been conditioned and living in a way, in such a fast paced way that very often we don't even realize how wreck our nervous system can be, right? And we are like keep on pushing and doing and working, even if we are doing the things that we love, but then rediscovering this new quality of like regulation and peace bring us to even more creation, but from a very different place. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And coming back to your question, why even bother?
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, it gives me the opportunity to feel my intuition again and to feel the wisdom that I hold. And I believe not only from this lifetimes, but from many lifetimes that we had before. And without our nervous system regulated, this wisdom and intuition can't come through because we are in constant survival mode. And this constant survival mode drives us in our minds, but also in our bodies, always a step further and a step too fast. And we are never really here in the present moment, taking our time and reclaiming our space, reclaiming the time and the space that is right for us. And there is so much talk about empowerment and sovereignty. So we open YouTube and like everyone is talking about empowerment and sovereignty. But to really feel it, it needs a time out. We need times out of our regular lives to feel the difference, to actually get to know our own rhythm. And we all have a different rhythm. And that's the beauty, because if we would all be the same, it would be not an adventure, this life. So we can get, this is how we can get to know ourselves. And by getting to know our own rhythm and our own tune and our own orchestra, we can contribute really to the collective, not only to our own lives, to feel better, to create, because we are all creator beings, especially as women, right? We live in creation. And if we fall out of this creation state, we are only functioning. And we are slaves of the world that is put on us from the outside. So we live constantly in feeling expectations from the outside and trying to fulfill those expectations. But this is not our life. Our life is so much more.
Yeah, so beautifully said. And what comes to me also is like kind of like cleaning the vessel for this like creation and the life force as well. And by stepping into like this inner peace and inner harmony and balance and regulation, we can even more, right? We can live in the even more integrity in our lives and even more authentic expression. And I feel like it's also crucial to really reach out our like individual potential and full live in the full life force expression in a way. And you said something so beautiful before about what is so special about the women's retreat and why it's important to create this container with the woman for this, like you called it like sacred sisterhood space, right? How the woman can regulate and how they can do exactly what you just described, go back to their inner essence, go back to themselves at the retreats like ours. Do you want to share a little bit more? What's the process like, and how we can go through that transformation, how we can go through that change? What kind of tools? What kind of practices? What's like, what's the process there?
Well, I like the vision of walking through a portal. And I'm a ceremonialist and a ritualist. And I have seen, and I encounter it every day in other humans, that we in the Western world and in the industrialized world, we miss rituals. We don't have rituals to mark important points in our life. We don't have rituals when a young woman, so a young girl becomes a woman. We don't have a ritual around it. I remember when I had my first moon cycle, I was very ashamed and I tried to hide it. I had no ritual, and other women holding me in that very, very important transition into the next phase of my life. This is only a little part, this is one step. But there are so many life changes that we don't celebrate. I see our women's retreat program that has grown so much over the years as a rite of passage for women who feel deeply the need in their souls that they need a ritual to step into their next phase of their lives. And what can help us there is, first of all, we as facilitators, we create a safe space and give the permission to every woman to come in and be as they are. This is the most important thing, to feel safe in how we are and we show up. And we have found out that there are amazing plants that can help us regulate the nervous system and open up our intuition and hear and feel more. So this is, for example, the wonderful Mama Cacao. Cacao is an amazing plant that grows around the equator. And I love this so much. If you imagine our planet, our wonderful blue-green planet with all the cacao trees around the equator, like 30 degrees to the north and 30 degrees to the south. It only grows like a belt, like an embrace around our planet. And I like to name that because cacao is a plant that opens our heart to the sacred sisterhood and the embrace that we can feel when we sit together in a circle and drink cacao together. And cacao is also opens us psychically to our intuition and to our deepest wisdom. And it's not the cacao that we used to buy in the supermarket. It's a sacred medicinal plant. And everyone who is interested and doesn't have a connection to cacao, you can look it up on our website. There is a little blog post, and we will put it below in the show notes. There is another plant that helps us a lot in clearing and cleansing our vessel, as you said before, you named that, and that is rapé. Rapé is a combination between different plants, but it's based on tobacco. And tobacco is also not the tobacco, the abused tobacco that we know from cigarettes or pipes. In the Western world, it's the number one medicinal plant in Central and South America. And what tobacco does, it's a male plant, we call it a male plant, is holding the space. It holds the space and cleans the space. It cleans our vessel and holds the space. And what it does, if you imagine, we need the masculine to hold a space for us women to go into our creative process. And tobacco is, for me, the greatest symbol of a healed masculine to hold space for the feminine. Yeah. We work also with special kinds of mushrooms. And what mushrooms do is they form connections below the earth. And they grow from one tree to the other, and they exchange sugar and other nutrients from one tree to the other. And if you imagine that the whole world, every step you take on the soil is basically held together by the mycelium. And this world could not exist without fungi. We are all embraced by fungi, and we as humans can only exist because we have fungi in this world. Fungi for me are the ultimate symbol for the sacred feminine. They grow in the dark and they exchange information. And what we do as women when we sit in the circle is that we exchange wisdom and information, because we all hold so much wisdom and information, we have even no idea how much we hold. And we create all in the dark, so everything is born out of darkness. And I don't see darkness as something bad, as it was told to us in the patriarchal system. No, the darkness is bad and the light is good. No, out of the darkness, everything is born. Out of the void, everything is born. And we need this wonderful spaces of warm darkness to create something new. Yeah. And then we have the breath as well, of course. We have the breath as the possible, wonderful tool to actually, it's the ruler of our minds. The breath is the ruler of our minds. And what holds us back from going back into our deep womb space and this intuition, the women's space in our womb space is our mind. Our mind dictates so much of our daily life, and the breath is the ruler of the mind. So by engaging with the breath as a sacred entity, we can feel how even in the day-to-day life, we can come back to our body and the wisdom of our body if we know how to use our breath. So the mind doesn't become or doesn't stay the ruler of our being, but we become the rulers of our minds through the body, through the breath, sorry.
Yeah.
So I went out there a little bit now. Perhaps we can.
That's a good metaphor, you know, the ruler, the breath is the ruler of the mind. Very accurate. It seems to be very accurate to me, you know, because again, your mind can be against you or you can use it to create, and you can really like steer it in the way that to create a conscious life that it's coming from like a very different place, right? So breath is can be like very useful and very powerful modality as well to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just I wanna share one other little thing, if I may. If you think we come into this world with the first breath and we go out of this body with our last breath.
Mm.
So we have this medicine inside of us and we often don't use it and we forget about it. And a space like to have a few days of space, like in our women's retreat, to remember the wisdom that we already have inside of us. We are just remembered how to use it so we can go back in our day-to-day life and walk through a rite of this rite of passage, and we can go back as changed women.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that and for like having like sharing with us this beautiful story as well about all those medicines and powerful tools that we are using and working with as not using, we are working with those spirits, right? And you know, I have a last question that I would like to address and ask, because I've been listening to some mm, exchanges with like a different therapists and researchers as well, and they are like talking, you know, about the society that we are creating and where we are moving towards with the society in terms of like the level of loneliness and depressions and all kinds of things. Not good overall. And I want to ask you, like, why? Because we have both this like sense of the importance of this work, especially now, right? And if you can just share from your perspective why it's so crucial and important, especially now, to do this work, to gather together in the communities, that they are safe and supportive, to do the healing, to go through that process and the rite of passage, as you said before.
Well, I think we can all feel that we are now transiting into another energy on this planet. And there is a lot of turmoil, a lot of war, a lot of things that can create fear for our future lives, and a lot of anxiety around how everything will work out for us as human beings on this planet, right? So I feel we have the responsibility to step into what is given to us as human beings, and especially as women, to remember our own wisdom and power. And I know power is an overused word and I don't really like it a lot, but in this moment I don't have another word for it. But there are Vedic scientists who say, many of them say, that in this year, 2025, we step out of the Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga is a very, very long period of time, thousands and thousands of years, that was ruled by patriarchy, that was ruled by gods that were outside of us. They were somewhere in the sky. and male gods that were out the Abrahamic religions. No, they taught us God is outside of us, and we are just poor little beings, and especially women are just poor little beings, and they need to. We are under the gods. And we are stepping out of this now, also because our Earth is coming out of the galactic current sheet and getting much more light from the galactic center. So we feel that we get more light, something changes, we can't really name it. Something changes in our bodies, and we are confused. We feel confused. What's coming? I feel that this time is our opportunity now to explore our ancient roots, our ancient wisdom, our connection to this planet. And we have abused this planet so much for thousands of years. And we have abused the sacred feminine for so long. And now it's the time to take back our wisdom, and for ourselves, but not only for ourselves, because we are connected like the fungi to everything that is, to all the living beings, also for the collective, so we can bring it out into the world as a ripple effect through us. And every person counts, every woman counts.
So powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, as I mentioned to you before, this this movie about this fungi, the fantastic fungi, also, like, it's such a beautiful piece to see and to feel also through the vision about the magic of this fungi and how we really are related and connected. So it's very, like, what you're sharing, it's very important. We will be closing, but is there anything that you would like to add to whatever we discussed today? Something that it's like alive within you and you would like to share on this occasion?
Well, I hold so much love and so much appreciation for all these courageous women that are really stepping into their wisdom right now, and going through these rites of passage, either with us or with someone else. And I really want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who are doing the work for yourself, but also for this planet and for humanity.
Beautiful. Thank you, my dear, for sharing that. On this occasion, we can also extend invitation to all the women for the upcoming event in May, right? That will happen from the 7th till 11th of May in beautiful sunny Portugal. So we will add all the details below this content as well, so you can look up, and please reach out if you have the interest to join our courageous group in this upcoming May. So, my dear, do you feel complete?
I feel complete.
In the bigger sense of incompletion today?
Yeah. Thank you for your beautiful questions.
Thank you for sharing. And yeah, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your experience, also like personal journey, all very valuable. I believe for many, and for me for sure. Thank you all.
See you soon. Thank you for being here.